Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are y'all doing today? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow, you guys, I was so ready for today's episode of the Morning Report. I had all the stories chosen out. However, some last minute tea. Y'all remember the lady that blew the lid on Elijah's cheating? Well, her name is Brittany, and she has just come out with more information. She posted 2 videos. Elijah's brother is pissed that she ruined the family cash cow situation, right? Because we already know Kale kicked Elijah to the curb. Remember, this is the thing about Kale, right? She's been hinting that they broke up. Then yesterday we talked about her doing a video where she's flashing her engagement ring and she's telling everybody to back off, mind their own business. Now, shout out to the co-reporter who told me to keep listening to Coffee Convos. It was kind of a boring episode, but at your behest, I continued listening. And towards the end, she specifically refers to Elijah Scott as one of her exes. I've got the audio clip for you here. And now this lady has come out. Oh, listen, we'll get into that later. That's what was taking. I said, no, we have to talk about that today because it's almost the weekend. And y'all know we do not do the morning report on the weekend. So we had to. Absolutely had to talk about it. So who is here? We've got Acacia in the house. Good morning, Acacia, Stephanie, Ashley, Kristen, Tadisha, Venetia, Jessica. It is so nice to see all of you here. There's Lucky, Cynthia, Nikki, Michelle, Ronnie, Twinkle Toes is here, Melissa, Kahara, Live a Little, Ashley, and I'm your Huckleberry, Saima, and so many more. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of the Morning Report, you guys. All right. So why don't we get into our stories of the day? This is going to be a long one, I think. So because I spent so much time on this Mistress story, I still have to import the Porsha, the Nene, all that other kind of stuff as well. So Jaleesa and somebody else, is Jaleesa here? I have my terrible short-term memory sometimes. Is Jaleesa here? Jaleesa and somebody else were telling me to continue talking about my journey watching The Valley. And so I wanted to tell you guys, I got so hooked at around episode 6 or so. And so I watched all the way up to episode 10 between last night and this morning. This morning when I woke up, I went and continued watching The Valley. I really like the show against my better judgment, y'all. So, first of all, Jax, he is so mean to Brittany. And unfortunately, although they like to blame it on being married or being together a long time or having a child, he's always been extremely mean towards her. He had been trying to get her to dump him since the second season. So since a year into their relationship. And it's just so amazing to me how long she's been able to put up with that. I'm too weak for that. Talk to me crazy, maybe twice and I'm good. Absolutely not. So the fact she's been able to do this for a decade is wow, God bless. And Jax, you know what? Karma is a B. You are going to get it one day. Now, Michelle and her husband, she's also really mean to him. However, based on some of the hints that they've both dropped, it seems as though he pushed her to the point where she just doesn't care about the marriage anymore. And so I know I shouldn't have because I'm not done with the season, but I went online and I saw some spoilers and some people said that man, when they were, their baby was born during the pandemic, he was still working and I guess she had stopped working for a bit. And so he was like, oh, well, since I'm working, I'm not going to do anything involving the child. That's your full-time job. And apparently that really pissed her off. Apparently this man never once woke up. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, but apparently this man never once woke up in the middle of the night to help change the baby's diapers. And so I'm like, okay, girl, I see where you hate that man's guts. I do. But listen, God, good luck to them. Good luck to them. I don't think they'll make it, but good luck to them. Then there was this whole storyline about Kristen accusing Michelle of being like a Republican or something like that, which was the funniest thing to me because her boyfriend looks like the biggest Republican there, right? Like, and I'm not saying that as good or bad. I'm just saying if I were to, line these people and choose out the Republican, I would say it was Kristen's boyfriend. So that was kind of like a funny little storyline they had going there. And lastly, that Blasian guy. Is he Blasian or is he Polynesian? Like, what's the deal with him? Because this guy, I think his name is Jason. He is so handsome. I am mesmerized by him every single time I see him on that screen. A super, super, super handsome guy, super nice guy, super chill guy as well, right? Really like him so far. I don't know how his wife scored him. She seems to be a huge gossip and he seems to be against that. So good luck to them. Good luck. And the youth pastor looking guy and his wife, Miss USA, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful couple. Okay. So listen, y'all, that's what I got to say about that. I don't know what StreamYard did. All of a sudden, they just changed my settings completely. They're having some sort of a bug. And so I'm trying to get this thing down. I'm like, why do you put like Grace Report up there? Like, it's only me here. They know it's my channel. Anyway, y'all, why don't we get into the Kyle Richards story, shall we? So Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards had a massive confrontation with a woman out on the streets of the mean streets of Rodeo Drive when she felt as though this woman was being needlessly aggressive to her dogs. And so Kyle confronted her. She was out there with Teddy Mellencamp and a couple of other friends. Kyle started filming her. She had her camera shoved up into this lady's face, and the lady was not happy about it. And y'all know that Kyle, what is she, like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", or something like that? She's a very small girl. And this lady, she wasn't exactly small, right? And so, I was nervous for Kyle that she was going to get her face bashed in, antagonizing that lady like that. Take a look at the video and let me know what you think in the live chat, okay? And then I'll put your comments up. And for you guys watching me as part of the Playback Posse, let me know what you think in the comments section. So there you go. The confrontation between Kyle and this random lady who was walking with her dogs. Again, apparently Kyle felt as though she was kind of being aggressive with her dogs or something like that. TMZ says that Kyle confronted the woman. The woman lost it immediately. And it was a really heated thing. So we don't know exactly what it is that she felt as though the woman was doing to the dogs that was inappropriate. And so on the one hand, I get Kyle, like, of course, it's terrible to see anybody mistreat any animals or whatever, but to just have your camera in her face the entire time and you're with your whole posse of people and whatnot. And, the lady, she has this conversation with you. It's going nowhere. She's not doing anything anymore with the dogs, right? So like when you just have your camera, you know what it kind of reminded me of? Robin from Housewives of Potomac when Mia was attacking Wendy. And so she thought it would be funny to just have her camera in Wendy's face to antagonize her and whatnot. That's the vibe it was giving me. And I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but the lady wearing the hat that Kyle was hiding behind as she was like confronting this lady was Teddy. So Teddy is her friend who's currently dealing with stage 4 brain cancer, and so I just found it to be so crazy that you're leading this whole confrontation with this woman, but you can't even be like, hey, I'm responsible for this confrontation. So if she's going to be physical with anybody, it should be me because I'm the one here with a camera in her face, here telling her she's doing something wrong. No, what does she do? She hides behind her friend with stage 4 brain cancer. I thought that was crazy. I'm like, am I seeing this right? And I know she's like this, short lady or whatnot. But here's the thing. If you're going to start a confrontation, it's on you. I'd be pissed if my friend started a confrontation with somebody and then chose to hide behind me. The hell do I? And that lady, she threw her thing on the ground. She said, oh, you want to rumble? Let's rumble, right? Oh my God. That was crazy. And it looked like y'all were not feeling Kyle's actions either. Listen, there are places that you could call, to deal with this sort of thing, to report, mistreatment. There are many animal welfare services. So I do think that maybe if she wanted to film, okay, but do it like stealth vibes, right? So that you don't egg on this sort of a confrontation and so that you don't put yourself and your friends in danger as well. Bunny says Kyle's a pest. Lauren says, I would have knocked Kyle out if I was that lady. She looks like she's disabled and was trying to get across the street, right? It looked like it was kind of difficult for her to get around. So like in that respect, I'm like, what was happening? And she's walking 3 dogs, and 3 dogs, it could be yappy, yappy, this and that. So maybe she was like, listen, stop it. I've had enough. And she got, and then she said, listen, let's go. And then maybe that's the only moment that Kyle saw. And she's like, oh, you're a dog abuser, this or that. I don't know. But it was very, very intense. It really was. Good morning, Mariah. Nice to see you. Luce is calling Kyle the Karen. And Keisha says that lady was about to let her know she's not the one or the two. Period. She was not here for it at all. And I don't blame her. Listen, it's a hot day. You're tired. You're having a hard time moving around, it looks like. And so afterwards, the lady's so burnt out from this confrontation that she just looks so exasperated, sitting on the bank. It's not even like a bench. It's just like, the ledge of like the flower bed or something like that. Good morning, Jasmine. Nice to see you. Nikki says, is the security guard not doing anything, right? Like, what are you here for then if you're not going to do anything? But I think I said this, right? Kyle is Karen on parole. I don't know why, but I feel like I keep saying the same thing twice. Sorry, Bunny. Maybe it was deja vu. J.I. says, why would Kyle start a confrontation with her friend? But exactly, right? If you start a confrontation, you are responsible for protecting your group of friends who did not ask for this, especially the one whose health is in a very, very precarious situation. That wasn't cool at all, Kyle. I hope Kyle apologized to Teddy. And listen, while they were over there going by the luxury shops, I hope she bought her a nice Birkin or something for putting her in danger. You don't do that, girl. Ronnie asks, why was she harassing this lady? I would be upset if she was filming me too. And for what reason? Where's the proof she was being inappropriate with the animals? Exactly. No, it's not cool. No. Again, if you want to have video footage so that you can report it or something, okay. But even during the confrontation where the lady's just standing there, nothing's happening with the dog, to have the camera in your face, like there's something about that just like sends your blood boiling. And it, I understand why she was like, she snapped, she might have had a long day already. Maybe things are going wrong in her life. Then here comes this busybody rich lady, to stir shit up in her life. Not me swearing. Ali says the lady was yanking on the leashes a little bit, but it looked like it was part of how she was walking, right? I think that's it. And listen, sometimes these dogs, they're trying to eat things they're trying to eat things from the floor or whatever, right? And that's how they get sick or this or that. Maybe that's happening. She's like, hey, listen, just a little, don't do that, right? Like, I don't know, but in that video, it looked like she was having a difficult time navigating herself anyway. Patty says she looks like she didn't give 2 good Fs about Kyle or that security guard, period. You know what? I'm still so shocked by this at all. This, I saw this video yesterday on Reddit. I was like, oh my God, Kyle? What is this? Jasmine says, not Kyle hiding behind who's currently battling cancer. Right? Y'all peeped that? That was not cool at all. And see, Bunny says her trainer told her to yank a dog to get his attention. It's like a parent grabbing the kid's arm, right? If you're not dragging it or this or that, if you're just saying a little, hey, don't do that, that's how you get the attention, right? Honestly, that wasn't cool. And I'm seeing that you guys are not feeling it either, the way that Kyle confronted that lady. Again, whatever, film if you want to, this or that, but don't do it in an antagonistic way, the way that Kyle did it. You put yourself, your safety in jeopardy, and the safety of your friends as well. Film from a distance. And even when you're in somebody's face with a camera, do you really think that they're going to do the same thing that you claim that they were doing? No, you're not going to have the footage that you need of evidence of them doing something wrong. All you're going to have is footage of you confronting this person, right? Come on, girl. Hey, Kay Cobain, nice to see you. And thanks for popping in despite your working. I saw Lauren say something about being off work and finally getting to join. So that's awesome too. Nice to see you, Lauren. So nice to see you. I saw Jaleesa's comments earlier about the Valley real quickly. She said, listen to Michelle's podcast on 2x speed. He was a demon, and I'm glad Michelle got her lick back. He didn't let her get an epidural. A man telling you not to get an epidural when you're giving birth? What is what? What do you mean you're not letting me get an epidural? Who the F are you? And do overnights. Oh, girl, drag him. I can see why she hates his guts. And that's the thing that I can't stand when someone does something so terrible to you, or a series of things so terrible to you, and then when you're finally over it and you want to, be done with it, they start playing puppy dog. And now, to the outside eye, Michelle looks like the bad guy, but that girl suffered. And you can tell that girl suffered, and that's why she checked out on this. So thank you, Jaleesa. I think I'm gonna finish it all tonight, actually. You guys. Oh Lord, crazy stuff. The Valley, really, really good television so far. And me too. I really like Jason, but I'm not really feeling his wife too much right now. Hopefully that'll change, but for now, I'm not really a fan. What about Alicia Keys? Did y'all hear about this Alicia Keys story? And I really want to know what y'all have to say, especially those of you who are married or in long-term relationships, okay? So Alicia Keys has recently, and how fabulous is this photo? I love, love, love her hair in this photo especially. I would love to have an afro like that. Alicia Keys is talking about how she and Swizz Beatz have never had a single fight in their 15 years of marriage. And I want to know what y'all think about that. So TMZ caught up with her just to ask again, are you sure? Like maybe my art ears weren't cleaned out when you said that, but are you sure that you have never had a fight with your husband in 15 years of marriage? It seems a little unusual. And she says that that is exactly the case. To me personally, I understand like two chill people getting together and having a relationship where you're not really, because there are some people where they're volatile personalities, two volatile personalities getting together, or one volatile, one chill that like sparks the flames of arguments. But I do see that both of them being chill. But I still do think that stressful situations do arise in life, especially when you're dealing with children, and especially when the ex-wife is out there publicly accusing you of being a mistress and accusing him of, ruining his marriage, leaving her destitute with the children and whatnot. To me, I imagine that those sort of things would lend themselves to at least some sort of arguments, at a certain time. And again, arguing, and maybe she has a different definition for arguing. To me, arguing doesn't necessarily have to mean like screaming, crying, or anything like that. I think sometimes it's like, oh, hey, I don't like the way that you want to do this. Like, I don't think it's cool. Like, why don't we do it this way? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a difference of opinions that sometimes can get a little passionate, but it doesn't have to be yelling or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. To me, if it is true that they've never had a single argument in 15 years, it makes me wonder, are you guys even like all that emotional? You know what I mean? Like, where are the emotions? It's giving surface level to me personally. I think when emotions are high and you guys are very invested and you're very emotionally, charged or deep in your relationship, you're going to have arguments. You have to have like a passionate stance on something, and you guys are completely different people with completely different upbringings, and it's only normal, it's only natural for you guys to have arguments here and there. You don't have to have them all the time. Some people, they fight a little too damn much, right? They're always looking for a fight. But I think it's normal, especially in 15 years. I'm sorry, but someone's checked out then. If y'all aren't arguing in 15 years, someone's checked the hell out. And listen, Alicia, given Swizz Beatz and what he did to his last wife, maybe it's him. Ali says, Alicia be lying. And listen, I like Alicia Keys, but don't forget, didn't she go on that campaign of, girls, you should wear no makeup. We should all be natural. And then she got caught lying about that. Remember, there was behind the scenes footage of her getting like concealer put on her and whatnot. I don't trust her. Jasmine says that's a lie. No way they haven't had an argument, right? I do not believe it at all. Sorry. Ramster, hi, nice to see you. TGIF. Jaleesa says Jesse argued with the doctor about the C-section. Oh, this guy is a douche canoe. He played with her freaking life. This man could have killed this woman, of extreme pain or whatever. You don't get to go and play expert, with your male ego when something as crucial in life or death as childbirth is happening. I see why she's disgusted with him. Listen, I'm sad she only had one mistress. Maybe she should have had 5. Acacia says, no, not home wrecking Keys saying this. Ooh. Ooh. Nobody is ever going to forget that, Alicia. You really damaged your legacy by doing that with Swizz Beatz. Ronnie says lies, disagreeing on things is healthy. I agree. To me, if there's no disagreements at all, it means someone is just not being authentic, or someone is not checked out. I mean, someone is checked out. Bunny says they must live in different wings of their mansion, right? Something about it, because there's no way. I don't see this as a bragging point. I see saying, oh, we argue respectfully, where we find ways to reconnect after arguments. I find that to be something brag-worthy. I find that to be something healthy. But to act like, you guys share one brain between the two of you, and that's why y'all don't argue, no, that's weird. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And it doesn't look like you guys are believing any of it either. And listen, I am not surprised. We're all grown here. We've all been in relationships. We've been in short-term relationships. We've been in long-term relationships. We know how things go. Even if you were a rather laid back kind of a person, there still are going to be things that cause you to have some sort of an argument in your relationship, especially with children involved, especially a relationship that is approaching 2 decades long, right? Good morning, Envision. Good morning, Shay. Oh, Jasmine's got almost 15 years. So let's see what she's got to say. In 14 years, my husband and I don't fight, but Jasmine, don't leave us hanging, boo. But we've what? Right? I see you guys having disagreements. To me, that's normal. So I don't understand why she's acting like they don't just have disagreements at all. So I'm seeing some of you guys are in the rumor mill, creme brulee. She's saying that, Alicia might be playing for the other team. There might be an open marriage. Listen, I've heard these rumors too. The rumor used to have it that she had a crush on Kerry Washington. That's what I used to hear. Right? Ramser says Alicia's jinxing divorce incoming. Ooh, I hope not, because they've got the children and whatnot. But it is true that you got to be careful bragging on a marriage or a this or that, because sometimes that's when the other person decides to, that you've gotten real comfortable and you've got a lot of trust in them. So they decide to act up a little bit. Tadisha says, I don't know. I don't believe them. Arguments are healthy and normal in a relationship. Exactly. Especially as you guys are growing. You guys are both growing and developing as people. And it's normal and natural that that's in 2 different directions. And you need to find ways to stay, or for those 2 directions to be compatible. Right? Hey, Farah, good for them. My hubby had a disagreement the other day. We have been together for 10 years. Right? It's normal. It's normal to have disagreements. So I'm not sure. Jasmine says, I meant to say we've had plenty of arguments, less disagreements, but respectfully. Exactly. To me, that is something that you brag about, not the fact that y'all, someone is stifling their feelings or too scared to be authentic in a 15-year marriage. Huckleberry says every couple argues. I've been married for 12 years now and we argue. We don't yell or act crazy. We talk through every disagreement, period. So that's what I think is actually happening. I think that either she's got a completely different definition of argument in her mind, right? Because maybe she grew up in a hostile environment where her parents screamed at each other or something. I don't know. And so maybe to her, that is arguing. But having disagreements or like civilized arguments, like maybe that doesn't register to her as being an argument. I think that that's the only real answer here. Or maybe it's like Kimberly is saying, which is that she wants to act like her marriage is perfect to the public, right? You got to be careful of people like that who are so holy up there on their pedestal. Their relationship is so perfect, because we all know what happens eventually, right? You can't hide things for that long. Now, what about Toni? Speaking of marriages, this is one marriage we know for sure ain't perfect. I was so surprised to find yesterday that Toni Braxton and Birdman were actually married. This whole time, I thought that they called off their engagement after the engagement ring was lost. Remember, a couple of years ago, they claimed to have lost the engagement ring and lost the luggage on a flight or a train or something like that. To be honest, I thought it was insurance fraud that they were doing. And then we never really heard about them as a couple after that. So you can imagine my surprise when I pulled up TMZ and they said that they had obtained a marriage license or a marriage certificate from the two of them. Apparently, the two of them have been married since August 8th of 2024, marking a grand total of 8 months. Mind you, the reason or the way that they found out about this marriage in the first place was because they saw that Toni had actually tried to divorce Birdman. And she filed for divorce 2 weeks after their wedding. And the crazy thing is, when they asked her, what is your date of separation? She said August 10th. Guys, they got married on August 8th. And 2 weeks later, she's saying they got separated. Their marriage was irretrievably broken on August 10th, 2 days after they got married. I used to think that Tamar was the only one in that Braxton family who, was off. But I'm starting to think they all are. Because what is this? What is this? That is crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. So a couple months after that, in January of this year, Toni filed to dismiss the divorce petition, and then Birdman did as well. Wow. This is one coupling that I will never really understand at all. Mind you, they got engaged a long time ago. They got engaged 7 years ago in February of 2018. And I don't know, they've never really been all that honest about the state of their relationship. But also, I can't even say they've been together for this long, right? Because sometimes she says he's her dear friend. Remember when people thought they got married in 2019 or 2020? And she's like, no, my dear friend Birdman and I didn't get married. He's single and I'm single. I don't know. They're very, very odd. Perfect word, Denise. They are an odd couple indeed. I do not get it at all. Cal says these Braxtons have the absolute worst taste in men. I agree, but I think, they're off as well. As talented and as beautiful as they are, they're off. They are off as hell. Hey, Succeeding too. She says, Grace, just popping in to say hello. You're looking lovely as ever. I love your hair. We'll catch the replay. Thank you so much. It is so nice to see you here. And thank you for joining the Playback Posse. Star says, I wasn't surprised she's secretly married, but I was surprised about the divorce. Right? I feel like, okay, whatever. If you want a divorce, go ahead and get your divorce. But if you want to marry in secret, go ahead and marry in secret. But then to go and claim that you, within the span of 48 hours of this marriage, it's irretrievably broken. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, how, like, these people are like in their 50s. They're so like, what? And it's so crazy because people go, oh, like teenagers shouldn't get married. They're so immature because they think that things like this will happen, right? And now look. No, right? Even when like gay people were trying to get married back when it was illegal, they were like, no, it's going to ruin the sanctity of marriage and this and that. What sanctity? Look at this, right? Didn't Britney Spears get divorced in 24 hours? Don't you hear about all sorts of mess? Like, come on now. Star says, I wasn't surprised she secretly married. Oh, sorry. Listen, I don't know what is up with my head. I keep reading the same things. So sorry, Star, but yes, I agree. I absolutely do agree. Ramster says that she cannot understand face tattoos. You either got to be filthy rich or in prison. Not talking about eyebrows, but come on. I'm not attracted to them either. I feel like I don't know, they don't compliment people, especially as they fade and whatnot. To me, it's just, I don't know. I'm all about like clean cut. And so this is just not it for me. And I see that Huckleberry feels the exact same way too. She says she cannot take a man seriously with a face tattoos. I wouldn't either. My mom would beat me up if I brought home a man with face tattoos. She would slam the door in his face, grab me by my hair into the house, and whoop my behind, you guys. And you know what, Star? That's a good idea. Why don't we plug that album right now? That album is so good. Toni Braxton, Babyface, Love, Marriage, and Divorce. If y'all are looking for some smooth tunes, she might have to, get some money to the side to pay for divorce lawyers. So let's get her those streams for Love, Marriage, and Divorce. It's a really good album, you guys. H says their mom made them all crazy. You know what? She had them way too involved in her marriage. She told them about every single problem, right? And it weighed very heavy on them and it impacted their own dating lives. And so for that, I definitely do feel badly for these girls. And Nikki said she was touched when she started dating him. SW said, asked, did he fly away? Listen, I'm betting she wished that he did. I just do not see her actually, I'm still shocked because when I thought of Toni before their show and whatnot, I thought of her as very, very elegant woman. So now seeing all of this stuff, I am rather surprised. I do have to be honest with you guys. Like I never saw prime Toni being with like a guy like this, but you know what? Maybe I'm being too judgmental. I did hear, and when they were on, or when she was on the Wendy Williams show, Wendy said the same thing. She said, I didn't get it. Like, you're so clean cut and you're with this guy with all these tattoos, this like kind of reputation. Like, what are you doing? And then she said that she changed her mind when she was interacting with him. And he was like the ultimate gentleman. Even when she fainted, remember when she fainted in the Statue of Liberty costume? He like stayed there like for, until help came. Like apparently he's a really, really sweet guy. And it's just unfortunate that it's hiding behind this because this unfortunately turns a lot of women off. Anyway, you guys, why don't we get into the Kale story? Shall we? So Kale Lowry, and I didn't put it in the title because this breakup, non-breakup, whatever situation that she's got going on with Elijah, it is just, it's too much, and I'm like, okay, let's breathe. And I had this little thing that I wanted to tell you guys about. And it was just this little kind of throwaway comment, and I was going to play the clip, which I'm searching for right now. But basically, on the most recent episode of the Coffee Convos podcast, she talks about how Elijah is an ex of hers, right? And Lindsay, the whole episode, they were talking about exes. And so Lindsay says, hey, why don't we give compliments to our exes, right? And so Lindsay, she only talks about her ex-husband, but we know she's been dating a couple of guys since then. So she didn't talk about Suburban Dad or these other people, right? And then it's Kale's turn, right? And so she gets into her assortment. She skips Chris and she mentions Elijah. So I want y'all to take a listen to this, okay?
If you could name the best quality of your ex, like best quality, what would it be? Are we being nice, like truly being nice?
Best quality, attentive.
Okay, I love that.
What's yours?
Best quality about Joe was he motivated me. He was, every time he kicked me while I was down, I was like, this is why I'm going to end up where I end up, right? Javi, I would say best quality. He's a very good dad. He's a very good coach. Motivational in a different way. Elijah, very, very attentive.
You know what? Like maybe we've been neglected.
Why do I get the feeling that they speak in slow motion? They drag things out. But did you hear that? So she named the best thing about her exes. And her exes that she named were Joe, and him being mean to her pushed her to succeed because it's true. He was very classist against her, right? So I understand. And then when it comes to Elijah or Javi, it was something else. I forgot what it was, like sporty or something, motivated. I don't know. And then when it comes to Elijah, it's that he was attentive. So here she is calling Elijah her ex on the most recent episode of her Coffee Convos podcast. Then when she did that other podcast with that wrestling lady, she had his name bleeped out. She said that all of her baby daddy relationships ended for different reasons. So we covered that too. And I feel like there's other things that I'm missing here, right? What am I missing? And then the weird thing is that she pops up on TikTok with Elijah, acting like these rumors are so crazy. Why are people acting like we're over? Aren't we, like, we're clearly together? Then why is all of this stuff happening? Why are you literally here calling this man your ex? That doesn't make any sense, right? Like the gaslighting is insane. And then on top of that, yesterday, we showed this video of her. Let me put it back up. And she's flaunting her ring, which, mind you, I think is a different engagement ring from the one he gave her. And she's telling people to mind their business. Yet here she is on her podcast spilling her business, not just this podcast, but all the other podcasts that we've been listening to as we talk about the developments in this entire saga. So why are you talking about it if you want us to mind our own business? I don't get it. Take a look at this video. Anyway, you know what? This lady gives me a headache, y'all. She does. It is just a mess. It's too much. And I know it's like Ramster says, Kale Daly, she is eating up the fact that all of this is like, such public fodder. And so I'm like, oh, regretting even bringing it up. But I feel like this is such a big topic in the teen mom world that we have to keep going until we get to the bottom of it, right? But it really does look like they're broken up. I will also say, you guys, I think it's unfair of her to be playing this game when her kids are on social media, especially Isaac, right? So she and Isaac interact a lot on TikTok and on Instagram, right? And so when she's over here posting as if she is back together with Elijah, meanwhile, that is not the truth in real life, right? And then on podcasts, which people are recapping on TikTok, this, that, and the other. So like the amount of mixed messages that this child in particular is getting in regards to his mom's like relationship situation, I think is unfair, and I think it's damaging as well. So I don't know. I think she has to be a little bit smarter about the way she navigates these sort of things. It's not like this funny haha situation. It's like, sis, you've got a serious problem. You're in your early 30s with 7 children by 4 different men, and between these different baby daddies, you've had a million other boyfriends and girlfriends that these kids have been introduced to. Like maybe it's time to take this stuff seriously and to worry about how it's impacting your children and their future ability to be in relationships, right? It's not good. And Lauren, thanks for bringing that up, because that was a last minute story that I saw just before I went live, like 20 minutes, and I was like scrambling to get all of the stuff together. So we're definitely going to get into that as well. Teresa says, this mofo, that's not even a nice compliment about Joe. No, it was backhanded. She and Joe are still on terrible terms. And given that she's on terrible terms with V as well, she's no longer trying to, play nice about it either. Kate caught the shade as well. I agree. Though I do also think that Jill was very cruel to her when she was poor. Huckleberry says, I think Kale is going to stay with Elijah no matter what. She has the inability to be happy as a single person. She always has to have a significant other. And here's the thing. Kale even admits in the most recent episode of the Coffee Convos podcast that it's going to be next to impossible for her to pull a quality guy with all of the children that she has by all of the different fathers. Like she says, I know that I am a red flag at this point. So I think that that's probably going to push her to go back to Elijah. But it's confusing because now here she is on 2 podcasts talking about him being an ex, right? So what really is happening, right? It's like Acacia asks, why are you trying to confuse us? What is going on? And yes, Kate, I got it all teed up. I'm really looking forward to talking about that with you guys as well. Cal says, from the moment we met Kale, it was very apparent that she needed to heal regarding her childhood. Really, yeah, I wish she did it too, instead of just boom, 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 popping out all these kids to distract herself from, from doing the work. Saying you go to therapy, I don't think it's enough. Obviously, whatever you're learning over there, you're not applying. I think there's a difference between learning and applying things, right? And so I think that's something she needs to work on rather than, whatever, all this other stuff she's been doing. Steph says, Kale loves to set up a question. So yes. And yes, exactly. At first, like my recollection was that Lindsay asked the question, but no, y'all just heard it. Kale did that. And she did that specifically so that she could put this information out there, right? And don't forget, in her on and off friendship podcast with Becky, she talks about how she had been in a corner crying the entire week, So if all these rumors are fake, then what is all this? Why are you in a corner crying? Why are you calling this man your ex? Like, what is going on, you guys? Come on. Lord have mercy. It is a mess, but that's just how things have always been with Kale. And I agree with you, Allie. I wish that she knew that too. Kale, it's okay to be alone, to be celibate. In fact, it's wonderful. It's joyous. It truly, truly is. So maybe you should give that a try. Give it a try. It's okay. Maybe you can have these little booty calls or something like that if you need to get your rocks off. But it's not healthy. Your pattern is not healthy. And she's still talking about wanting to have all these new, these kids and whatnot. Anyway, you guys, a lot of you have been bringing up this situation featuring the cruise ship mistress. Listen, I don't want to call her the cruise ship mistress because she she very well might not have known, right? So she was posting, her name is Britt, and she's the one who blew the lid off of Elijah's cheating. And she was posting all the receipts that she had. She was not playing with us, y'all. She was not playing with us at all. Okay. And so I've got the videos that I want to share with you guys about it. And so basically, she said she exposed Elijah's brother for climbing into her DMs to drag her for putting all that information out there. And so why don't we go ahead, take a look at everything it is that she had to say and talk about it on the flip side. So if you're watching live, please continue to leave your comments in the live chat. I'll be putting them on the screen. If you're part of the playback posse, don't hesitate to leave your comments in the comment section, okay, as they go. Here goes.
Yeah, I'm fuck with you though. Listen. But you gonna have to hit that water tomorrow.
I ain't getting nothing.
And I ain't talking about the pool or the hot tub. You gonna have to.
I ain't talking about none of that. Actually,
He said she wanted to let it marinate. She wanted to have a smell.
This need day 2 with the tahini on it and everything.
That's spicy. Why is it spicy? That's crazy work. You're tripping.
There could be conch salad right now. Stop playing with me.
That gorgeous girl we met in the elevator, Elijah, is not who we are talking to right now.
She don't exist no more.
Like, that gorgeous girl in that dress, bro. And she had dare to say that she had a dream about us. We was eating. She said,
I did. I had deja vu. Dead ass about y'all. In that same conversation
Same
we was having, I
conversation.
was deja vu.
I'm dead. So that was fun, guys. Thanks.
So there you go. Again, very inappropriate behavior. Although it wasn't confirmed. Y'all let me know in the chat. Did she confirm that Elijah was in that bedroom with her? Because to me, I'm imagining that both of the brothers were in that bedroom, which again, you're an engaged man. You've got all these children at home, newborn children at that, newborn twins. And this is what you're doing on a cruise that your girl paid for. Very inappropriate. It's clear as day that he got too comfortable. I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but she's laughing because I think Elijah's brother was talking about how her friend needed to wash her coochie. Apparently it stank, and he's like, "Oh, like you were so beautiful, but then I smelt that thing." And I'm like, "Oh my god! Like, how are you guys entertaining this conversation? Like, it's so disrespectful. It's so degrading. It's so weird. And how are you here laughing as this man talks about your friend like that? Like the pick-me-ness of it is just." It's extreme. It's so weird. Star says, imagine Kale on Pop the Balloon having to share, I have 10 kids, 5 baby daddies, 2 divorces, and I'm pregnant with my ex breakup baby. Oh my God, my head is spinning thinking about it. And do you know what you reminded me of, Star? Pop the Balloon. Did y'all watch Pop the Balloon live? I haven't gotten to catch it yet because it was like 2, 3 in the morning my time, right? I will be watching it over the weekend. But I saw a clip, and this guy, he was talking about how he had like 6 kids or something like that by like all these different women too. And he's on Pop the Balloon. It's like, guys, are you okay? Like just worry about these children and stop, knocking everybody up. I feel like there's a big difference between having 6 children on your own, with like one person, or with like 2 people. But when you've got like this kind of like, array of like parents to deal with, like, you need to work on some things internally, instead of looking for other people for the time being. I'm just saying. Cal says you need to like yourself in order to be alone. Being alone and lonely are 2 different things. That's true. And unfortunately, it does not sound like she likes herself. And actually, it was quite sad for her in this episode of the Coffee Combos podcast because she said that people would like go into her DMs and like make fun of her for having multiple daddies. And then she went, "Oh, you think you can hurt my feelings? My parents didn't want me. Like nobody can hurt my feelings." I was like, "Damn girl, it sounds like that pain is still strong." And I don't blame her for it. I think that that's what she really is crying out for help over, And that's why the whole deadbeat thing, this and that, like it's so damn sad. Like being a deadbeat parent, whether you're a deadbeat mom, whether you're a deadbeat dad, like it ruins children's lives more often than not. I don't think that she would be finding herself in this situation that she's in now, especially, the 7x4 situation, if she had the love of her parents. And so I just can't stand deadbeats for this reason. It's sad what they did to her. Daughter TMH says, Kale has definitely weighed out her options and knows she won't find another Elijah. I agree. The guy he apparently, when he's with her, he's nice to her. Apparently in the house he gets a lot done, and typically the men that she's dated in the past, they don't do anything, right? So to have all of that, like, and have a past of men who do not help with their children, who do not help in the house, and who aren't nice to you on top of that, like, this is a saint, right? Jaleesa says, oh my God, she's so annoying. She knew he was in a relationship and she wants to keep exposing for some attention to get a reaction from Kale. Obviously, they're going to try to work on it, so just let it go. Listen, she is eating it up. She is. However, I'm enjoying getting the details, Britt. I DM'd her on the TikTok. I was like, Britt, what did I ask her actually? I didn't ask her to come on my channel, but maybe I should. Should I? Because I wanted some more tea. Listen, I am nosy. I'm trying to see what I sent her. Oh, I told her that I was going to be covering this story, and I asked if she and Elijah texted back and forth. Because I think, like, if you have like screenshots of you texting with Elijah, right? She has them with his brother. But if you have them with him, that's another smoking gun, right? Hey, Michelle, nice to see you. So nice to see you. Acacia says if he did all that, he might as well be cheating. I agree. What are you doing in this bedroom with these women when you are single? What was this woman doing holding your hand when you're engaged? What was this woman doing holding your hand when you're engaged? It's not appropriate. Not at all. Huckleberry says the Kale fans are riding hard for her right now. They're still on TikTok harassing. Oh, are they? That's not cool. Claiming Elijah would never do this. Listen, she did not break up with that man for no reason, y'all. He did that. He did that. Leah says, why record these videos? They're so odd and not moment. Exactly. That's what, that's why when she acts like she didn't know this man at all, either you have a problem living in the moment and not whipping out your phone, or you're lying. And I think it's more so that she's lying. And again, how stupid are you, Elijah, as a now public figure, that you even allow for this in the first place? She was already recording you guys in public when you guys were at that dinner table where you had at least some semblance of plausible deniability. But you kept on following this girl around, knowing that she was like so obsessed with capturing every moment on video. It's like you wanted for this to happen. You wanted to blow up your spot. You wanted to kill your retirement plan. Jalissa says exactly. She's just a pick me. That's why I think she knew Kale and Elijah were together. You know what? Sadly, I do agree. I do agree that this is something that was done on purpose. I do. It really has blown up her TikTok too. Lex, let me zoom in. I want to see these doggies that you've got. If you guys want to distract me, just put up some dogs on the screen. Oh, are these black labs? They're so cute. They're so cute. My fave Pop the Balloon was a 76-year-old man who stated he was I saw that he was finally ready to have kids in a lineup of postmenopausal women. Oh, girl, the way you wrote that, chef's kiss. It's postmenopausal women. Yeah, the delusion of these men sometimes. Carly, you're catching that first story that we did. Yep, she was ready to throw down on Kyle Richards. Indeed. Hey, Misha, my Ottawa girl, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. You guys, Britt did also post another video, so I'm going to play the second one, and y'all have to look closely because this is where she has more receipts and screenshots of her time texting with Elijah's brother, okay?
Listen, y'all are still gonna believe whatever you want at the end of the day. I don't even care. The point is I'm not a liar, and you're not gonna keep calling me one. You can call me whatever you want. I can be a clout chaser, I can be a homewrecker, I can be a whore, I could be all these things. I don't even care. That shit does not bother me. But a liar, when I know I'm not one, be for real. If I was lying, I would be off the internet hiding right now. And anything else that I've posted, not everything I post on the internet is related to the situation. Just because that's where y'all's head is, doesn't mean that's actually factual. Like, what? Nobody was trying to break anybody up. Nobody was trying to break a family up. Nobody was trying to do any of that. That was not my intention. As I've said a million times, as a woman, I would want to know. Roles were reversed, I would want to know. What is done after I told my story and told my truth is not on me. I don't give a damn what happens after that. Not my business. Okay? Has nothing to do with me. I don't care. I'm not looking for anybody's attention. I don't care for it. I didn't expect anybody to reach out to me. None of that. Y'all are reaching so hard. It's actually crazy. I mean, keep hating. Whatever. Keep arguing with yourself in my comment section. I don't care. I really don't. A liar, though, is something that I'm not. Call me every name in the book. Okay? Leave liar out of it because that's no. Negative.
Did you guys notice something very interesting about that video? So she said, call me whatever you want. Call me a hooer, call me a homewrecker, but do not call me a liar. As in, do not say that I lied about hooking up with Elijah. I definitely did that, right? However, when you say call me, that is something that she's not going to accept, because that is something that she can definitively tell you she is not, which is a liar, right? However, she's okay with being called a homewrecker. So to me, that makes me think that she knew about their relationship. If she's going to say, okay, you can call me that if you want. Did anybody else kind of get that vibe? I was like, why are you okay with people calling you a homewrecker if that's not what you are? By the way, I think it's a very outdated term. I don't like it. I think Elijah's a homewrecker in this situation. It's his home. But although if she knew, she does have some level of responsibility too, but it's just overly emphasized in the women or the other party. Yeah. I don't know. To me, I would be like, don't call me a homewrecker. Because I didn't know. I genuinely did not know that they were in a relationship or anything like that. But I don't know. Her willingness to be called that is a little bit suspect to me. It really is. I don't know. Not feeling it. Hey, Stasum, nice to see you. What did you say you were doing at the YMCA? What did you say? Is it yoga? How is your yoga doing? Hey Nikki, caught alive. Never thought I would. Oh, that's so sweet. Hello from Australia. Hello, Nikki. So nice of you to join us. I know it's late over there in Australia, so it's so sweet of you to be here. Thank you. Ali says she wears that Mistress badge with pride, right? And why would she? Like, that's a terrible, terrible title or reputation to have. Huckleberry says, I'm sorry, but I agree with her. I would want to know. I agree. I refuse to let some man make me look like a fool, especially if I'm paying his way. I agree. But here's the gag. The gag is, it looks like Kale wants to keep this man. So I guess she doesn't mind this man making her look like a fool when she's paying his way. But anyway, listen, again, with her situation and her prospects, right? And this is someone who can't bear to be alone. I understand why she would be keeping him around anyway. Listen, if just the free childcare is worth a lot already. Nikki says she's so busy trying to throw him under the bus, she's willing to admit she was whoring around on the cruise, right? And now you're putting out these videos. Did y'all watch Insecure? Broken Pushy? This video of this man sitting up in you guys' room talking about your friend's coochie stinks. Why would you put that kind of a video up? How old is this girl? I hope she's under 25, because she's over 25, putting out this sort of lowbrow, just trashy content. Like, that's embarrassing, right? Very, very, very embarrassing. Jaleesa. Ashley says, I was distracted by her fake lashes and she got her nails. Listen, you got to be camera ready now, because there are so many people tuning into every update that she makes. 1 a.m. Nikki, oh my God. And you know what? Thank God it's the weekend. So that way, if you need to sleep in, you can go ahead and sleep in. Ronnie says people are weird. Venetia says, Kale will stay with him because she doesn't like to be single. I think so too. And don't forget, look at all the kids, all the animals. They've got like 20 animals to manage on that property. Then there's a whole property to manage. You can't do that alone. It's not possible, So I think that she has to stick with this guy. Jasmine says she seems thank God she's in her early 20s, because she's going to look back at this stuff and cringe, y'all. Truly, truly cringe, because it's trashy as hell. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, girl, but it's trashy. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to take a little bit of a water break. I'm out of water here. And then on the flip side, we're going to talk about Kenya. Nene Leakes laughing at Kenya Moore and the karma coming back to bite her after Kenya dragged Nene for getting fired from the network. And then we're going to talk about Porsha claiming that Kenya shared photos of an underage Brit Edie at her salon opening. Okay, you guys? So if you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than RHOA. RHOA is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. All right, you guys. So why don't we start off with Porsha? Listen, I never really understand where Porsha stands with Kenya. Like sometimes it feels like she wants to be her friend. Sometimes it feels like she wants to drag her, under or throw her under the bus. So it's very complicated. We all know that Kenya is facing a lot of backlash for her actions on the latest episode of RHOA. And now here is Porsha talking about it on her Amazon Lives, and Kenya has had enough. She stepped into the comment section to say, absolutely no one on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait. I think Porsha was intimating that Drew had given her the photos or the intel, and Porsha responded by saying, that's a lie. We talked day and night, and I personally went to network and production and fought for you before you showed her underage explicit pics. I also went after blank as well because I was hurt you had to leave. I checked on you because I cared and care. I'm not your enemy. Listen, Porsha is a very difficult person to read because I don't know what is real and what is not with her. So is she sabotaging Kenya and trying to, throw oil on this already, fire or something like that? I'm not sure. Bunny says, I think Portia's right. Britt was and that's the thing about Britt. She has been bragging about this on the show. And we talked about this when we did the RHOA recap with Kempire and Layla, and then here on the channel as well. It's concerning that a high schooler was posing for this sort of content. Where were the parents? Like, I feel like she was a victim to negligent or very lax parenting and just, an industry that was not doing its due diligence. Like, she was way too young to be posing for these kinds of photos. They are illegal if that is the case here, right? Because it hasn't been confirmed. And if that is the case, Kenya, this is going to go from bad to worse for you very quickly if you do not apologize to Britt. Acacia says, Kale didn't mention Chris because we all know, right? Maybe in her mind, that's not her ex anymore. Maybe now they could finally be together. Bunny says, Porsha needs that job. Porsha is the poor Reed of RHOA. And I agree. And it's sad. After all the nasty things she's done to get some money. Y'all, she was allegedly boning these old married men in Nigeria for a Rolls Royce, remember? TMZ clocked that tea. And then we saw what she was doing with Simon, and she wasn't even attracted to Simon, right? She thought that was going to give her the money she wanted. Nothing has, unfortunately. Milan says, have you seen people are dragging Porsha on the blogs comment? Really? I have to go and see because I had no idea. I haven't seen that. Nikki says, they said it was Ming Lee who gave Kenya the pics, but Ming denied it. Thank you. Right? And I don't even remember Ming being on the show. Is she on the show? Is she behind the scenes or something? East says, Kenya blocked Britt. Britt will not receive an apology. Ooh, Kenya, if I were you, I would at least pretend to be sorry, because if it is true that those photos were underage, things can get really, really ugly for you real quick. Now, you guys, there's the Nene story, our final story of the day. Nene Leakes is now laughing at the home to roost. Remember how Kenya acted when Nene was fired and blacklisted from the network? Well, here's Nene reminding
that clearly means that the network is sending you a message. You're not as important as you think you are. The message is very clear. Either the network feels that you're still a valuable asset on the show, or they don't, and you're replaced or phased out, and you just have to move on.
Well, that's what she said, and it was true, but unfortunately now it rings true for her. With all the campaigning she's doing against Bravo for getting fired, maybe she might have to listen to some of the things that she found so easy to say when it was somebody else going through it, right? I'm not surprised that Nene is clapping back. Oops, give me one quick second, you guys. Do not do that. Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation. yeah, I'm not surprised that she is now taking the opportunity because it was very easy to say these sorts of things when it was happening to Nene instead, right? And so I get it. I get it. At the end of the day, that is what happens. So you do sometimes have to be careful of what it is that you say because you never know when it's going to be your turn to be in the hot seat. However, what about you guys? Do you think that those same words do still apply to Kenya's situation, right? I think it does. And I think, to be honest though, because there are so many people fighting for her and on her behalf, I think that if she is careful and if she does kind of decide to go ahead and lay low a little bit, I think that this stuff can kind of boil over and that she would be welcome, in the future. Because there's a big base there. There are a lot of people in support of her at the end of the day. And, even if Porsha is saying that this is the exact type of stuff that was out there, I don't think that Kenya knew that that's what it was. I don't think that she would have shared that if she knew that that's what it was, to be honest with you guys. Like, I know that sometimes she can be very vindictive or she can, kind of border on evil in her actions, but I don't think that she would do something like that because that crosses every single line out there. So I don't know. Listen, and that's the thing about the network, right? Like one minute they fire you, they like you, another minute they put you somewhere else. Right? We saw that happen with Phaedra. We saw that happen with the cast of Vanderpump Rules. So I think that if Kenya plays her cards right, she will still be able to get back on the network. And unfortunately, and I know it's hard for her, that means that she needs to kind of zip it for the time being. We've got Trent in the building. Trent, thank you so much for your super chat. Trent says, Britt is Fallon's first cousin. Their whole family is off. Really? Where did you get this? I had no idea. Damn. I had no idea. And I'm like looking like this, trying to see if I see a resemblance in them or anything like that. But that is very interesting. Thanks for telling me that. I'm wondering, like, is that how like she managed to like get into the casting or anything like that? Can we see Fallon be brought back to the group via Britt? Because remember, is that why Britt went so hard out the gate towards Porsha in honor of her cousin? Oh, now all of the questions that this is unlocking for me. Wow, I would love for Britt to do a scene. Maybe, remember how she did the Givenchy shopping thing. Why didn't she invite Fallon to come do some shopping? Like it's a little bit of an ambush or something like that. This is interesting. This is tea. This is scrumptious, Ted. Not Ted, Trent. This is scrumptious. Thank you for this. Wow. Holy moly. Malen says, yes, she said it at Carlos' channel last year that Bravo's trying to phase her out. Malen says, that's why Porsha is friends with Britt now. Really? That's one thing about Porsha. People believe her dumb girl act, but no, she's actually very sharp, especially socially intelligent, or maybe she's only socially intelligent because she knows how to charm the pants off of people who should see her as an enemy. For some reason, Candy likes her again after what she did to Candy, right? For some reason, Britt very easily was able to be friendly with her after what she did to her cousin. Like she is and Phaedra is back being friends with her after she threw her under the bus for the scheme that they both, came up with. Wow. Oh my. Fallon's got a sister that's a video vixen too. Damn, y'all. Damn. Jasmine says that was Kelly, the one who went hard. Oh my God. I'm so slow. Britt is the other one. The one who, when she's talking, it sounds like she's holding her breath or doing this or something. Oh man, damn it. I was so excited. Thank you, Jazz. Okay, so Britt Edie, the video vixen, is the one who's cousins with Fallon. Damn, I would love to see the two of them do something together then. Why is there no hostility from Britt to Porsha? Because if that were my cousin that something like that happened to, I would be running up on the girl, not violently, but I would be applying pressure in every scene. I'd be looking to shade her every single time, catch her in every single lie. Damn it. What a great note to end on. Thank you again, Trent. You are so amazing for that tea. And thank you for your super chat per usual. You've always been so supportive of my channel. Thank you. You guys, thank you all so much for being here for another episode of The Morning Report. I had a really good week with you guys. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to shoot a video for my channel members. I want to ask you guys' opinions on some stuff involving friendships. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to shoot that. Then I'm going to hang out for a bit, maybe do the dishes, and I'm going to do a little bit of a yoga class tonight. Or if a reformer Pilates class opens up, I'll do that instead. But for now, it looks like it's going to be a yoga class. And yeah, get ready for the weekend and whatnot. Take good care of yourselves, you guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me for a week of tea. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you again Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more juicy, hot, steaming stories. Take care, you guys, and keep an eye out. Channel members, a new video is coming in a couple of minutes there, okay? Take care, you guys. Bye.